Is this the moment Newcastle United fans have been dreading, or just another summer storm that will blow over? After a Champions League campaign that showcased our potential, we're now facing what could be the biggest departure since we started our European journey. We might be witnessing the dawn of a new chapter at St. James Park. But will it be written with or without our Swedish sensation? A striker who's gone from Newcastle hero to potential departure, while Liverpool have already moved on to sign Hugo Ekitike for 79. Let's dive into what's really going on behind the scenes with Alexander Isak's future. What's up, Toon Army? Welcome back to NUFC Quick News, your go-to source for everything Newcastle United, the passion, the pride, and the black and white fight. I'm buzzing to have you here today, but I'll be honest, this isn't the easiest video to make. We're talking about a situation that's got every single one of us on edge. Are you feeling that knot in your stomach when you think about Isak potentially leaving? Drop your honest thoughts in the comments below, and make sure you stick around until the end, because I've got some exclusive insights that might change how you see this entire saga. The Alexander Isak situation has taken another dramatic turn, and Eddie Howe's latest comments from Singapore have basically confirmed what many of us feared. Our Swedish striker won't be joining the team for the remainder of their preseason tour. And when pressed by Craig Hope about whether there's any chance Isak links up with the squad, Howe's response was brutally simple: no. Think about that for a second. This isn't just about a minor thigh injury anymore, is it? What started as a seemingly innocent fitness concern has now evolved into something much more serious. Craig Hope has since revealed what we all suspected. Isak is actively pushing for a move away from St. James Park this summer. But here's the twist. Liverpool have already moved on and signed Hugo Ekitike from Eintracht Frankfurt for 17 and mild. But here's where it gets really interesting for us Toon fans. How are you processing the fact that our star striker, the man who scored crucial goals in our Champions League campaign, apparently sees other clubs as having bigger ambitions than Newcastle? It stings, doesn't it? Because we know what we're building here under Eddie Howe, and we know the potential this club has. The timing couldn't be more brutal. Newcastle are currently in Singapore, playing their hearts out in front of passionate fans, while their star striker is back home contemplating his future. They've already faced Arsenal in Singapore, with upcoming matches against K-League on July 30th and Tottenham on August 3rd in South Korea, and Isak won't be present for any of it. What's fascinating about Eddie Howe's handling of this situation is his refreshing honesty. When most managers would dance around the subject with diplomatic non-answers, Howe has been brutally transparent. We're not deluded. We know we need to bring players in. We've known that. We know what we wanted. It's been a challenging window, he admitted post-match. Can you imagine being in Howe's position right now? Managing a team on tour while your star striker is effectively on strike back home. And yet he's handling it with the kind of class and dignity that makes us proud to have him as our manager. If you're impressed by how Eddie's managing this crisis, hit that subscribe button to show your support. The Liverpool connection adds another layer to this drama, doesn't it? Reports suggest that Isak was frustrated when Liverpool made an informal approach but then moved on to sign Hugo Ekitike instead. The irony here is that Ekitike was supposedly Newcastle's target as a backup striker to Isak, but Liverpool hijacked that deal and paid 70 million to Frankfurt. But here's what I find most intriguing about this entire situation. Liverpool's interest was real but brief. They've already moved on to Ekitike. What's changed is Isak's apparent willingness to force through a move, even if it means missing crucial preparation time with his current teammates and apparently with limited concrete options now available. Are you starting to see the pattern here? This feels eerily similar to what we went through with other players who saw Newcastle as a stepping stone rather than a destination. The difference this time is the brutal transparency from all parties involved. There's no hiding behind PR statements or agent speak. This is raw, honest football business. The psychological impact on the rest of the squad can't be understated either. How do you think players like Bruno Guimaraes, Anthony Gordon, and Sandro Tonali are processing this? Are they questioning their own futures? Or are they seeing this as an opportunity to step up and prove that Newcastle is bigger than any individual player? Eddie Howe's comment about it being a challenging window speaks volumes about what's happening behind the scenes. We're not just talking about Isak here. This is about Newcastle's entire transfer strategy being disrupted by a player who's essentially gone on strike. What strikes me most about this situation is the timing. We're in the middle of preseason, the most crucial period for team building and preparation, and our star striker is nowhere to be found. How do you think this affects team morale? How do you think it impacts Eddie Howe's tactical preparations for the new season? The fact that Isak has specifically rejected Saudi offers tells us everything we need to know about his priorities. This isn't about maximizing his salary. It's about joining what he perceives as a more ambitious project. That has to hurt as Newcastle fans, doesn't it? Because we know what this club is capable of. We know the investment that's been made, and we know the potential that exists. But here's where I want to challenge everyone watching this video. Maybe, just maybe, this situation will force Newcastle to make the kind of moves in the transfer market that we've all been crying out for. Sometimes losing a star player can galvanize a club into making bigger, bolder decisions. Look at what happened when Liverpool lost Philippe Coutinho. They used that money to build something even better. The question now becomes, how does Newcastle respond? Do they cave to Liverpool's demands and accept a fee that doesn't reflect Isak's true value? Or do they dig in their heels and make it clear that players don't dictate terms at St. James's Park? Eddie Howe's handling of this situation will define how future transfer sagas play out. If he allows Isak to force through this move without consequences, what message does that send to other players? But if he takes a hard line and potentially loses one of his best players, how does that impact Newcastle's ambitions for the upcoming season? The brutal reality is that this situation exposes the gap between where Newcastle thinks they are and where their best players think they are. It's a wake-up call that might be exactly what the club needs to make the kind of moves that will keep future stars happy on Tyneside. The Alexander Isak saga is far from over, and how it resolves will tell us everything we need to know about Newcastle's true ambitions and Eddie Howe's ability to manage player power. This is bigger than just one transfer. This is about establishing the culture and standards that will define Newcastle United for years to come. What do you think Newcastle should do? Should they let Isak go and reinvest the money, or should they make him honor his contract? Your thoughts in the comments could shape how we all process this situation. Smash that like button if you're backing Eddie Howe through this crisis, and hit subscribe to never miss a Tune update. Because this transfer window is far from over. Until next time, stay proud, stay loud, and always keep the faith. Away the lads!